Son of a what?
Turn that phone off, Tiger Woods. Look, we are live. No, we're not. We're live now.
Are you sure?
Yeah, we're going live. There's a circle.
It's working on going live.
It says it's going live. Are we live? Oh, fix my hat. We're live now.
Which end you gonna set on there, sunshine?
Well, you're not gonna be seen over there. I'm gonna have to just slide over.
No, you can see over there.
No, you
Slide.
Can't see that big old blue thing of you.
All right. Well, still can't see you. We'll see here.
Yeah, you
there
can
we
see.
go. All right,
Yeah.
Shane, take over.
You can see.
We are live.
Are we live?
Yeah,
Are
we
you
are.
sure? Let me get my.
I gotta
mess
find
here.
it.
Let me get my mess set up here.
There's no comments. We got some viewers though.
There we go. We're live. It says we've been live.
Are we? Is your
Says
phone
we're-
on vibrate?
Yeah, I got it on
All right. Shane's isn't. His will ring twice.
No, I
probably.
turned it off. I'm only seeing 3Os.
Well, your screen thing's
Turn your phone sideways.
hit through.
What the?
That didn't help.
In the wide, wide world of sports is going on here. Man, come on now. We're losing
Well.
viewers. They falling quickly.
There we go. We are live now.
You gonna share us?
Keith the Bows.
Are you gonna share us around?
Yeah, we're already shared around.
You better
I'm-
share us some more.
We're going.
Man, what the world is going on?
All right. Shane's having trouble with
I'm having trouble with everything.
Chris Marshall. I hear you. 360. I'm working on it, man.
Yeah. You worked on it all right.
Yeah. All right. Tonight we've got Cody in the house to talk about the Open.
Man, you're gonna have to let me talk.
And we got Shane over here looking at. I'm waiting on you to talk. Let's go. I don't want to talk. I'm gonna sit back
I
here.
don't really want you to.
Okay, well,
I'm
come on.
just kidding. No, all right. Anyway, hope we got everything situated. Hope can everybody see all four of us? What is my biggest question?
Yeah, we're here.
I just want to make sure because my phone, maybe I'm just that guy tonight that can only see two guys or three guys. Anyway, we got Cody Hoyle with us tonight, the Open winner at Lake Norman. Brought the cool trophy in here. We're going to talk to him a little bit tonight. And we got the host of the Square Table over here and MPFL Championship qualifier, Pug Clements, who beat me by 3 100s at Lake Norman Sunday. I'm still not really happy about.
I was well been 5 pounds.
He has a small point.
Didn't he say not to say no bad language?
5 pounds.
Well, I'm getting ready to. Anyway, appreciate everybody joining us tonight. We're just going to kind of do what we always do. Tell some lies, shoot the bull, try to have a little bit of fun.
We don't tell any lies.
Well, we're going to tonight.
Are we?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a good possibility. Anyway, I reckon we can start with Cody, seeing as how you the man of the hour. First and foremost, congratulations at Lake Norman. Man, it was the first 2 days were really impressive.
Oh, yeah.
The last day was kind of one of them days that you don't want to have on the last day, but you kept it together and pulled it out, and it was pretty impressive, man. Congratulations. I'm glad that you were able to hold on. But it was you just want to tell us a little bit about. It's you can divulge now because it's been on Fox Sports and everybody's already seen.
Well, there's certain things you can't divulge about.
Right. I understand.
I caught them on a jig. You know that. Everybody knows that.
Well,
now.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Any certain type of jig?
That's one that I make.
Okay.
I make
Half ounce?
Yeah. Arky.
Arc style head. Gotcha.
Special color or pretty generic?
Just green, pumpkin, orange. Just pretty much everybody throws the same color at Norman.
I threw that thing 3 days and got 2 bites on it.
Well, you probably wasn't throwing it in the right place.
You exactly right. I threw it in the right place twice.
Yeah. Throw it in the right place and you caught that. What was it, a 3-something last day?
Yeah, I threw something last day. But man, you just want to kind of tell us about your thought process, whatever going into the tournament. Did you go out and spend some time, sink some brush? Did you just fish places that you know, like a pattern you like to fish, or?
I just fish what I normally fish when I go down there. I never did get to practice because I had to work all that week. So, but last time I was on the lake before that was the ABA championship. I got third in it.
Yeah.
So
So
I think it took like 24 pounds to win the week before. So,
yeah.
Yeah.
You would have really blew it away.
Oh yeah.
The week it opened. You think the little cold front that we had? You think that helped your bite, or it obviously didn't hurt it any? But you said the week before that you finished third in the ABA, and I'm assuming you're probably fishing generally the same way, not exactly the same way, but do you feel like maybe the fish were coming to you, or?
I think the spotted bass hadn't moved up yet, because normally those places you catch a lot of spots, they wasn't there, and the largemouth just had like free range over those areas. You didn't get a lot of bites, but the ones that you got were good fish.
Mostly largemouth.
Yes.
Yeah. How many largemouth did you weigh?
All of them was largemouth set for 2, and they
Really?
They had 2 3-pound spots. I mean, they wasn't
Well,
little
I mean,
spots.
if you're gonna catch a spot, that's the
Yeah.
one you want to catch.
Yeah. And I caught a 4-pound spot the second day. I mean, the first day, second cast.
Wow. That's the way you want to start off.
Yeah.
Now, did you save anything during the ABA for the Open?
I didn't beat up on it too hard.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't like in the Open. I would go back, like you see me in that one of those marinas. I fished it first thing in the morning, and I didn't catch nothing first thing in the morning.
Mhm.
To come back later in the day, and he was there.
Mm-hmm.
And I fished it like 3 times that day before I caught that one fish. So I think timing's got a lot to do with it. The sun's got to get up and just push them under there, basically.
Like every other jig fishing deal, the higher and the brighter sun you got, the better it is.
Yeah, but one of the reasons I fished it early Saturday is because you got all the people that's going to be out on those places.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And you might get lucky and catch one like it.
Right.
I mean, I could have went out, fished a drop shot, but I didn't want to go out there and waste 3 or 4 hours catching 12, 13-inch fish.
That's right.
Tyler Yvette wanted you to. I was texting back and forth for Tyler Yvette that last day, and he said, "Is he gonna do anything different?" You had him sitting on the edge of his seat all day long. I said, "Man, the sun's got to get up. I bet he's just waiting on that sun to get up."
If I would have had the time that I had Friday, I got to fish to 6 o'clock Friday, I would have probably had close to what I had the last day.
Right.
At about 15, 16 pound again, I think. Because I had pretty much a 3-pound average with the 3 fish that I had. I think
Right.
they weighed like 9.2.
Yeah.
Is that right? Yeah.
Something like that. Definitely the right quality.
Yeah.
This takes, it takes somebody with a mindset to do that. You got in your mind, this is what I'm going to do. This, if I'm going to win, this is how it's going to be. I'm going to win with this jig in my hand, or I'm not going to win. And, man, you stuck it out that last day and
Yeah.
caught a couple key fish right there at the end to
I-
keep, what's his name? What's the little dude finish second?
Matsusaka.
I can't even say his name. Didn't he finish? He
I
didn't
thought it
finish
was that
second.
Joy- was it
Yeah,
Joy?
Joe and Nanino,
Yeah,
he
he
finished
got
second.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I thought I wasn't going to win nothing but that 2-pounder that last day. I was panicked, I ain't going to lie.
It's hard not to panic.
Yeah, we was pulling up one marina. I said, "Lord," I said, "just let me catch 2 fish. That'll be enough." 5, 6 pound. Pulled in there, and Hank Cherry was there. Caught 2 catfish. And I was like,
He's bad luck
I
anyway.
said, "Man, that ain't." And I said, "I appreciate it, but that ain't the fish I'm talking about."
You got to specify sometimes.
We had to renegotiate that one.
So I'm curious about this. I've never been in a position to win a multi-day like that. I mean, especially going in the last day. I've had, I've been in the top 10, but I've never really had a chance to win unless I go out and catch like the record bag on the lake somehow or another, Mentally, I mean, I'm going into that last day with that lead. Is it nerve-wracking? Is it calm? Is it, how's that work?
It's nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
I mean,
Was there any thought during the day just to drop back and punt and go catch 5 squirrels?
I tried that.
Oh, and
Yeah,
See,
yeah.
Tyler, he tried it.
You pull up and you can tell it's a little spot, and then when it drops out, I'm like, "It's taking too long."
Well, you was talking about nerves and stuff. How many pontoon boats did you ding on the last day?
I hit a bunch. I hit a bunch. it was more nerve wracking than that All American I fished. I mean,
Yeah.
Cameraman at the All American, he's filming. He said I skipped under 150 boats and never hit one of them. He's back there counting. He said he ain't never seen nothing like it. When I get there, it's like every other one.
Dong. Then the dock owner's coming out. Man, what are you doing?
Oh yeah.
You hit my boat.
I think we've all had that fight.
It don't do nothing to him. It really
Just makes a lot of
just
noise.
makes a lot of noise.
Put a flat spot on the head of your jig.
Yeah. Beat the paint on
That's
it.
speaking from experience.
Yeah, well, everybody's seen it live with me.
Boy, ain't they?
You know you're doing something when you start breaking hooks off it.
Yeah, that's.
I never broke one, but I have watered them up shut before.
I did that to a jackhammer one time. Curled it all the way shut.
Yeah.
Oh boy! All right, so you predominantly stayed on the lower end of the lake.
Yeah.
Didn't really stray too far from that at Norman.
Yeah, we went up Mountain Creek first couple of days, but I think I pretty much fished it out. So just went and run history down the lake.
There you go.
That's always a good thing, though, to have a little history to run.
Oh yeah.
Do you regret not fishing the other two opens just to have the shot at the Classic?
I mean, who would?
I mean, I hate to put salt on it,
Yeah.
but
Translation.
That's
I wish
right.
they had an option like some of these night tournaments where you can pay to
Yeah.
pay up on.
So you got any plans for next year? You may be thinking about fishing 3 of the opens or a division of them, or what you got on your mind?
I'm gonna go fish 3 and win one of them.
I like your style. You got to be confident.
That's a good plan.
I wish they would hurry up, come up with the schedule, or come out with the schedule so we can see what's going on.
I hope they go to Douglas.
They're probably not going to go to Douglas because they went this year.
Probably right.
If I was guessing, I'd say you're going to see Toho.
Cherokee.
Cherokee?
I think it's time for Cherokee on the open. I think that'll be your TVA lake.
Smith Mountain.
Maybe Hartwell.
No, they won't go to Smith Mountain.
Yeah, Hartwell would be fine.
I have heard rumors of Hartwell in the fall. I did hear that.
That'll be a good one.
Oh, there
Carson
you go.
just popped out
Toho,
there.
Cherokee, Hartwell.
Well, that's what we say.
Well, all right, Carson, since you got it figured out, give us some dates.
Well, I bet Toho's going to be in February.
I would not take that bet. I'm more curious about when Cherokee would be than I am the rest of them.
So when did it sink in that you won? Because I've heard people say it was the next day or whatever. Well, I mean,
I was sitting out there in the parking lot and I pulled that bass tracks up and I thought, it's going to be close because it showed the Japanese guy, I can't say his name.
Yeah.
He had like 13 something.
Mhm.
I was like, he might have underguessed those or something. It would have been real close, but
No, I went up to his boat. I said, man, what you got? I ain't got but 3. I said, Vardy Biggins? Well, no, not really. I said, well, let me see him. He pulled one of them out, and I said, what the hell?
yeah.
I said, it was like 3.5 pounds. I said, what's the others look like? Oh, they all about like that.
I think he caught them all 2.5 on bass tracks too. They all 2.5.
I didn't think they weighed that much. I ain't gonna lie.
When he showed them to me, I said, you got at least 9 pounds on 3. At least 9 pounds. I said, they got to catch 17 to beat you. You good.
Damn, bad bag of fish for 3 for 9.
No. Lord, no. That's a pound bigger than my whole bag the first day.
Well, we heard you didn't have much help the first day. Your boat rider was a special breed. We got to experience that today.
Oh, Lord. It was good times.
Oh yeah.
Good times. What'd you think about going to Bass Pro for the weigh-in and all that? Did you like that or did you not?
Oh, yeah. We went and weighed in at BFL to Cabela's one time.
Oh, yeah, that was here.
Yeah.
That was here.
It was pretty cool with all the people there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Good times.
Yeah. They had to unhook my truck and hook a Toyota up for it. They wouldn't let the old Chevrolet come around there.
They don't pay no money.
Nah.
They don't get to be the official tow vehicle.
So, do you make most of your tackle, like your odds and ends? I mean, obviously, you're not making your own crankbaits for the most part. And I'm sure you might modify some things or make a few things.
Yeah, I mean, Jigs, buzz baits, chatterbaits, shaky heads. I don't sell none of them.
You got
I
a
just
fan.
make it.
No, I understand that. Trust me. I think anybody that fishes makes some of their own
I
stuff.
just got more confidence in like a jig that I make because I don't think they sell a certain color.
I'm
like,
same
Yeah.
way.
I
I'm
like
the same.
tie 'em on
I
skirts.
tie the majority of mine too.
Yeah.
I get my heads from True South, but I tie the majority of my skirts too. And I'm just like you. I do it because everybody says, "Why you do that?" Well, I do it because I feel like I'm throwing a color that everybody else isn't.
Mm.
Does it make a difference? Maybe, maybe not. In my head, yes, it does.
Well, then it makes a difference because you're gonna fish it with confidence.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Or like if you catch one and he throws up a crawdad and he's green, pumpkin, orange, and he's got a little bit of red, I
Mhm.
go home and throw a little red in that jig.
That's
And
right.
match it exactly.
Yep. I do the exact same thing.
Don't tell all the secrets now. Come on. Nah.
Oh gosh. Well,
What else you got?
I don't know. What else we gonna talk about?
I can't.
What else you want to talk about? How many did you catch on a shaky head
Win.
in the open?
Catch nothing on shaky head.
That man went to that open and win it.
I had to ask. I mean,
They wasn't no
Well, I
other
did.
place to
I
fit
did
it.
see him the first day, the first morning, the first stop. He was sitting there with a spinning rod in his hand. I seen him because I was going to the back of a pocket and hollered at him when he was sitting there.
Oh, was that you down the line?
Yeah.
Did you get the waypoint?
No, I know where it's at. It's a brush pile anyway.
And, yeah, I caught that big spot right before you pulled up behind there.
Did you really?
Yes, I did.
You dog. You caught my fish. Yeah, why didn't you tell me when I was idling in there? You'd already caught him. I went somewhere else. You let me waste 30 minutes in there. Thanks,
I
bud.
fished the whole pocket. I just
Appreciate
fished one
that.
place.
well, I know you did a little homework up there because I think I saw you about 5 o'clock one morning coming off the water.
Yeah, you gotta have your secret brush piles.
They're talking about the opens though. As far as the format goes, like something that I've always wondered about, 220 boats is capped. So they don't all get 220, but 220 boats. So you got 440 people out there fishing.
Yeah.
And a lot of them will practice. Some of them practice 3 or 4 weeks. How many fish you reckon? By day 3 of the open, the final day of the open, how many fish you think? I mean, people's like I don't think they really take that into consideration when they think about the open and what it's going to take to win an open because there's a lot of fish caught
Yeah.
during that 2-week
whole
period
bunch.
just leading up to the open. With 440 head out there.
There's a lot of largemouth caught in that thing too.
They was. I
Yeah.
was kind of surprised how many largemouth did get caught.
Them F1s are taking off, didn't you know?
Those were not F1s.
Oh, I mean, I'm just.
I think Hugh
I
had
mean-
a F too. But just as far as how tough those lakes can get during the open, because those fish have seen it all. At some point during that week, they've all seen a bait. It seems like they will.
Yeah.
That's probably the hardest tournament in bass fishing to win. I think
Which one?
open
Probably so.
Norman fish is different during the week than it does a weekend. Anyway.
Absolutely. it
or
does.
Monday than it does
Yeah.
Tuesday.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Or 12 o'clock as it does 1 o'clock.
that's a fact. They move a lot.
I
on
think
Norman.
it's any Catawba River Lake, though.
Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing you can hold.
That one right out there, especially.
I mean, you can think you're on them, and all of a sudden, no more.
I think they said it happened to David Williams in that one of those opens at Norman, didn't
The last time we were there in the
Yeah.
fall, he had like a 3-pound lead going to the last day, and I think he caught 2 or 3 fish the last day, and I don't remember who wound up winning that thing.
What was this guy's name? They just had an open. Was it LeBron?
LeBron?
Yeah.
Yeah,
He come in short the last day.
Yeah. The one Prosnick won.
Yep. So
That's
let it
Smith.
for 2 days and come in short the last day. So that happens.
It takes a lot to manage fish for 3. I mean,
It does.
we've all done this. Pug, you've done it multi-day. Shane, me, the most multi-day I've done is like a Thursday night fish off. But it is tough to manage fish.
well, that's my point. It's magnified in the opens because there's no off limits. There's no. It's just go catch. Some guys spend a month out there,
Yep.
Some guys, and that's a lot of people out there catching fish every day from practice to that day 3, and that's why I think it's the hardest tournament there is to win. The Elite Series, there's an off limits, Our tournament's off limits, and that open deal is, man, that's a tough tournament to win. That's hats off to you. But even if you didn't have 5 the last day, you still got
Yeah.
you still got
It was
trouble.
enough.
Yeah, that's right.
That's right.
It doesn't matter if it's 2 or 10.
That's right.
And a lot of times that last day, you're just trying to go to where you know you can catch one.
Yep.
And you're not just going out fishing. You're trying
Mhm.
to just pinpoint it, and that messes you up a lot of times.
Yeah.
Sure does.
Yep.
Like I went to those places, I said, well, I caught one here the last 2 days. I'm going to catch another. And it didn't work that way.
They said not
It didn't work
today.
Fooled me once. Fooled me twice.
that. I'll tell you this, one of the places we pulled up the first day, I fished with David Williams' travel partner. I can't remember his name. It was like one of the
What
last-
is it? RD, that's his name.
Yeah, it was the last place we pulled up, and there was a 15-pound bag of largemouth going down the bank to Wolfpack. And he's like, you come back here the next 2 days to catch one of those. And I did. They stayed there in that same area.
Stayed around there chasing brim.
Dang.
A lot of up at Norman, it's hard to sneak up on them though.
Yeah.
A lot of times.
They'll be sitting released at spec.
Oh yeah.
Right out on a red clay bank in the bright sun.
Yeah.
And you're like, what in the world are them things doing up there?
I've had that happen to me down in Ramsey. You look down and I just boogered this all up, and there's no recovery.
No, once they see you, it's over with. You might as well just leave. They're not going to play that game.
And then you can't. I mean, a lot of times you can't even come back in the same day and fool them.
Yeah. Stephen
All right.
Sutton said congratulations.
Pug, you owe Alan Coe a fishing trip.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Todd
he's-
Hammond said that he hopes that you find a bait that you're confident with at High Rock.
Speaking of that, why we got this going on? I think
I mean,
I think next week that needs to go down.
That's you kicked me from the back of the boat to the camera position, so you got to take that up with Johnson.
Todd, how about can y'all do that next Thursday? Not this coming Thursday, but next. That would probably be sufficient.
And then you and I got to figure our squirrel match out too.
Let's go. Okay. So next Thursday, we will have a 2v2 at High Rock. I hope the cell service is good enough to be able to
Make it
video it. We'll have some fun. We're gonna.
round man. I'll get to your question.
I
in just
really,
a second.
again, Todd. It just ain't right to scar Hayden at such a young age. He's gonna remember this beating forever.
It might motivate him, or he might want to quit.
No,
You don't know how
I'm
he's going
afraid
to
he's
handle
gonna want to quit.
it. He's going at some point. He's going to have to learn.
I mean,
Every now and again, you got to take one to the forehead.
but I mean, man, he's 15 years old.
It's
And
he's man enough to handle it.
I don't know.
He's man enough to handle
I
it.
don't know.
You know, I bet on him. I think I'm going to take Todd and Hayden.
Well, that's fine. I mean, we take all comers.
All right, I'm going to take Todd and Hayden
All
on this
right.
deal. Is this for the belt? No, you got to make a 2v2
No, just-
belt.
yeah, I don't know that we'll have belts by then, but we will do something. We'll figure something out.
I need to see if Brandon has got cardboard and aluminum foil. If he doesn't, I'll provide some to him. Hey, man, don't laugh too hard.
So,
Dollar General's got all you need.
There you go. Yeah, Todd, go ahead and send your belt size.
Yeah.
Last person sent their belt size too early, got it taken from
yeah,
them.
their name's on the back of that belt right here behind me.
2v2 belt.
Uh,
It's all right there.
Hey.
Jason Lance with me, too.
hey, Pug,
Yeah.
when Johnson and Shane, if they win, you and me will take them. We'll take them down to Monticello.
If I win, you're not taking me to
Oh, that's
Monticello.
right. We got to go where you want to go.
I'll
Yeah.
take them to Norman.
No,
I just proved I could beat them down there.
There you well.
God knows.
I mean, smoked them people.
That's Jason Land's fault. I'm just
Smoke.
telling you right now.
I
I'm
think-
blaming it on Jason. He shook my bag 4 times. He only shook yours 3. I watched him.
I don't know about
He
300.
shook out the 2 extra drops of water. I'm telling you, y'all set that up. It was rigged.
300ths of an ounce. And what made it funny is Shane looked at me. He said, "I hope you got 1234." That's like I said 1238. I said, "Ooh."
Oh gosh.
Well, we got our nose cracked in the bounty out here this weekend, so it's okay.
Yeah, that was your fault.
It was, well,
Yeah, it was your
my fault.
My first 3 places, we caught one between 2 and 2.5 pounds. Then you wouldn't take me to none of your stuff, so I quit taking you to mine.
All my stuff's dead.
I
went
just
to my
figured
stuff, it's dead.
I was gonna lose. I ain't giving you nothing else.
We had mechanical
Not the second
issues,
place was one of mine.
electrical issues,
We did. We had all kinds
and
of
Steven's
issues.
issues.
Yeah, and you know something? Let's take a quick poll out here. Cody, I'm gonna ask you this: when you get ready to go fish a tournament,
Here we go.
do you charge your boat batteries?
Yeah.
Do you?
Yeah, who don't?
Well,
Here we go.
Well, it wasn't a moldy day.
No,
now let me tell y'all something.
What happened
now,
was-
hold on a minute. As good as lithium batteries are these days, right?
Still
You
got
can only fish on them for like 3 days, and you got to charge them.
Yeah.
All right, Ding Dong here goes to New York, fishes for 3 days, come home, parks the boat, and just forgets about it.
No, I didn't forget about it.
So we're going fishing, right? 10:30. He's had the front of the boat all morning. Well, at 10:30 come by jig time. I said, all right, man, let me get up there. So I get up there. I make it about halfway down the first row of docks. I said, David, is this? I said, is it a breaker off?
It shut off. Like, not
No.
not slowed down, it just shut
Them
off.
lithium's just dead.
When they go dead, they're done.
Yep. So we did everything trying to. David said, "It can't be the batteries." Well, we come up here and plug it in. They were so dead. One of them was asleep. What does that tell you? They ain't been charged in a while.
No, they go. Here's what happened. Okay, so
I just told you what happened. The batteries were dead because you didn't charge them. That's what happened.
they got plugged in. The light come on the charger. I went inside, went to bed, woke up next morning, unplugged it, come fishing. Well, when I got home, old GFI at the house had malfunctioned and was toast, so I had to replace the outlet. Yeah. No, I plugged it in, but I'll take it. It is what it is.
You
It
know, I'm
happens.
just giving you a hard time.
Congratulations to Thomas Richmond, Dib
Yep.
Wiley. As much as it pains me, they beat us pretty good. And they
did.
They had a good day on the
So did everybody else, though.
No, not everybody. We come in there around 5th or 6th or so.
Well, we didn't have 10 boats.
Hey,
We're a solid middle of the pack.
Solid 5th place.
hey.
We'd like to thank the 10 teams for coming out.
Heck, I was dead last. I didn't win.
Yeah, I was just say, Cody gave us a life jacket and then left early. I had to call him tracking down.
I mean, I should have had them. I mean, I boat flipped a 3, hit the side of the boat, or hit the deck, went out the other side, and then I had a 4 jump up out of the water and get it like the first place. I'm like, he come
Yeah.
off.
Well, you've won.
Well,
Yeah, you want enough for the last month.
I mean, if I'd have
That little old $400 or $500 wasn't nothing to you.
If I'd have got them in, I'd have had about 12 and a half. It wouldn't have been enough to win.
Randy, I did try to paddle Shane around. I sat in the driver's seat and drove him by docks, and he hit about every third hole he come to, and there
That's
still
fact.
wasn't no fish under him.
But to our credit, we left the water at like 11 o'clock. Came up here and charged the batteries for 2 hours, and we did manage to go back out and finish off a limit anyway.
With with one of them rigs you don't really talk about much.
Uh,
How many of y'all throw a flick shake ever?
I don't even know what that is.
There you go. There you go.
we caught one on a flick shake and one on a shake 'em head. Them giant spotted bass that live in Lake Wiley now.
Lee Lucas said it was 14 boats to be exact.
Okay, well, I wasn't trying to throw shade. I'm just, you know.
We were still
We were
middle
still
of the pack.
middle
You
of the
top
pack.
third. Y'all don't pay a third.
Well, yeah, we do, but not on 14.
Hey, listen, I'll beat a bounty anytime anybody wants to come. I'll take my chances.
It was fun. It was a good time. All bull crap aside, it's just
Hey,
you know how it
what?
is. If you can't laugh at yourself, heck, who can you laugh at?
We still beat
What's
we
that?
still beat Ron. That's all that matters.
How
Blood pressure
many,
pill.
how many packs of cigarettes you think he smoked?
Let's clarify. This is not Ron Farrow
Yeah.
for anybody
No,
that wants to call him.
For those of y'all that don't know, Ron Farrell beat us.
he did beat us fair and square.
And left at lunch.
And left at lunch. Oh man. Anyway,
Anyway, go ahead and say what you was going to say.
I don't even know. You asked me something about how many packs of cigarettes.
I was messing with Wiresburg.
He's probably gnawing on them now, steaming still.
He's out there pacing in the backyard in his new swimming pool.
In his
Walking on water.
in his grass cutter 2000s.
So, Cody, you fishing the regional this weekend on Murray?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
it's gonna suck.
You think so?
Oh yeah.
I just got a hot tip a minute ago, but I can't share it.
Yeah,
I think I overheard just a little bit.
you officially. I don't even remember what the information rules are. Is there one? I don't think.
they are. I ain't gonna take no chances. But
No, I
Yeah.
don't blame you. I was just curious.
if
Yeah.
you don't know, it's better be safe than sorry.
That's right. Exactly.
So this is the regional to go to the All-American, right?
Yep.
And how many
And-
spots go to the All-American? 6?
The top 6.
Top 6, yeah.
Oh.
Top
six.
6.
It's in Hot Springs, right? Lake Hamilton.
I think that's what it is. Yeah.
Yeah. Never been there.
I passed over it.
Didn't you say that's the halfway point?
It's
of
almost
Grand?
halfway to Grand.
Almost.
After like 12, it just turns into whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, just I'm driving again.
I'm driving.
Who can I call and talk to now?
Yeah. If y'all want to give me your phone number on my next road trip, well, I'll tell you, I call everybody on my phone. Talk about absolutely nothing.
Oh gosh. Well,
My phone hadn't rang yet.
Well, people.
I ain't going there. There's a story I can tell about that,
No.
but I ain't gonna. We
No.
probably already got banned from being on. What is it? We got kicked off of?
YouTube. No, we didn't get kicked off.
Being kid friendly.
Well, no, that was just a one time.
The one time, yeah. But that was my fault too.
You
Yeah.
want to be
well.
kid friendly.
No, Pug and I have made a road trip together. That's
Yeah.
quite a.
That was a fun ride home. We listened to 2 Chainz.
We listen to I think every genre of music there
I
was.
still
we
can't
sat there.
believe y'all did that. Drove all the way down there, spent all day on the water with me, and then drove all the way back home.
It was fun.
Golly, I don't know how y'all did that.
I didn't drive at all. I just sat in the passenger seat, but they wouldn't let me go to sleep.
No.
I got road home at one point. That's a headache from riding down the road. I learned that.
Well, Pug, let's talk about your little deal out there at Grand, and you qualifying for the MP inaugural the NPFL championship on Nickajack.
Yeah.
Tell us about Grand. How'd it go? What'd you do? I know Taylor Walker's whipped your butt on my jig,
smoked me.
but I just
And the funny thing is, when Taylor told me he was catching them on a jig, I was like, well, I know what jig he's throwing. Because it's the same jig you throw.
where do you think he got them at?
Well, I know that. So I tied one on, but they wouldn't bite my cricket.
You
Bit
weren't
Taylor's cricket.
shaking your cricket.
I wasn't doing something right with my cricket.
Now wait a minute, hold on.
Yeah.
You told me, you called me while you were in practice, said I got 4 bites today. They were all over 4 pounds.
On a jig. That's
On
correct.
the
On
jig.
that jig.
Yeah.
But it was that deep.
Okay.
And I got 4 bites from daylight to dark.
Okay.
They don't let. I mean, that ain't no good when you fishing for 3 days. I mean, to me, I don't like that. But I could pick up a topwater plug and go on them deep bluffwall docks, and I could get like 20 bites.
I mean, that's way more fun.
It was a blast. But
Yeah.
when the wind quit blowing, they wouldn't eat my topwater plug no more. And,
Shocker.
Stupid fish.
Yeah. So we put on a jerkin bait and caught a ton of fish, but they just, man, you had to weed through a lot of short fish. But I got 5 keepers the first day, and then I figured out a little deal to get bigger bites the second day, but I only weighed in, I think I had 3 or either 4 for 11 pounds, but I had 3 really good fish.
Yeah.
And
Well, what'd you do different?
well, if you
I
go
mean,
to my
you can tell.
if you go to my Instagram page, I talked about it, but I basically changed my hook sizes out on my jerkbait to get it deeper. So the smaller fish were like really close to under the surface, and it seemed like the bigger fish were down around those dock cables.
Yeah.
So on Grand, everything's a floating dock with 19 cables attached to it, and some of them are under the water. And
Kind of like Lanier.
yeah, exactly like in there. And they tie them cables. The floats will be tied together underwater with these big long cables, like braces almost.
Mhm.
And them bigger fish were hanging out on them cables. They weren't right up under the surface. And I put a number 4 hook on the back of the jerkbait, so it started sinking on the paws. And I ended up getting 5 big bites the second day, but I only landed 3 of them. But I got the bites.
Lose them in the cables and stuff.
Broke one off, a big one off in the cables that jumped twice and had a jerkbait sideways in its mouth. But when you're on that little flimsy rod and that dirt bait, like,
Yeah.
you kind of at their mercy.
You
know?
got that right. You just hope he wears out before he comes off.
Yep. And then the other one just had one hook and it ended up pulling off. It was a 3 or 4 pounder. But I got the bites. That's really what I was
Right.
proud. You know, I wasn't
Absolutely.
catching a ton of short fish. I was catching better fish. But last day caught a bunch of keepers that still ended up with 11 pounds. I think I had 1 3 and one like 2 3/4.
But you didn't win the tournament. But you
No.
But you won the marathon.
Yeah,
By qualifying for the championship.
Ended up 12th in points, and the top 25 go to the final at the end of the year. And that's
So you had a middle of the pack finish too.
no.
No,
I finished 19th in the
Yeah,
tournament.
he was in the top 30.
Okay.
Yeah.
You made the top third. All right. Fine.
But it was a nice little payday. It wasn't as good as it could have been, but it was a good little payday. And but the good news is, really and truthfully, it's double the payday because it's a guaranteed check when you go to the final. Whether you catch 1 fish or no fish or 30 pounds a day, you get paid something. You
Thing
know?
about that is, though, 10 grand guaranteed is really, really nice. But don't rest on that.
No. Mm-mm.
Don't rest. That's the picture's a lot bigger to go
Yeah.
out there and really get in some of that money.
To me, it's the freedom of not having to worry about I need to go finish the limit. You know what
I don't
mean?
need to go throw a jerk bait on
Yeah,
the
I
dock
don't
cables.
need like I can fish
Yeah.
for the 5 biggest
That's
ones in
right.
the lake without having to worry about
That's right.
staying in the points.
That's
you know what
right.
I mean? So,
Yep.
which is a big deal. Moldy days, we're learning. We're learning. The
It's-
moldy day
yeah,
game's
you
a different
always,
game.
you always learning. Always learning.
If you're not learning, you might as well quit.
That's right.
There's times when you got to go for it, and there's times where you just got to catch what you can
You
catch.
got to
and get in there.
survive.
Yeah.
You got to survive. That's right.
Yeah. But
My problem is it's just taking me too long to learn that. I want to try to win every time.
yeah, but there's tournaments where you just ain't on that.
There's times
You know?
where you just need to lay the jig down.
Yeah.
It's so hard for me to do.
Well, I know this sounds stupid, but and I'm the opposite.
I know.
Like a drop shot with me, like I can get bit a lot, and I'm confident as long as I'm getting bit. And I have a hard time sometimes, be like, all right, Paul, enough with the drop shot, bud.
Yep.
Like this
See,
ain't doing you no good. No
The whole
more,
time I'm fighting that though, man. I don't want to pick up that egg beater. I don't want no part of it.
It's just the mental side of
I
it.
mean, I want some 20-pound P line on my mess, and I'm ripping his face. I don't want to go. Oh God, I hope he stays
Yeah,
on.
please stay on.
No, I done boat flipped him before you got the hook set good.
Hey, David Dudley made like $3 million on an egg beater.
Didn't he,
So
though?
I'm gonna lay with Dudley.
Have fun with that.
Hey, speaking of that, what happened to Dudley? Did they release him?
I don't know. I think he had some shoulder surgery, but James Watson was at the last tournament.
He's
and,
fun.
Yeah,
He's
he's
fun
a good
guy.
guy, man. He was out there every morning on the dock talking to everybody that walked by.
He does that.
Now, David, in your defense, and I'm gonna just admit this freely.
Uh-oh.
Day 2 agreeing, like it was pouring down rain after day 1. I got to the house. I was on the phone. I ran in the house, and then everybody's like, "Let's go eat." So we went and eat. I didn't plug my boat in, which is okay because I have lithiums and I can fish 2 days, no problem on lithiums without plugging in. The problem was my roommate went outside and he said, "Paul, did you plug your boat in?" I said, "Nah, but it'll be all right." He said, "Well, all your graphs is on."
Yeah, no.
So I ran 4 12-inch screens out there all night long.
For nothing.
My battery was on 19%. So I didn't make my number at blast off that set. I was at the weigh-in trailer with my boat plugged in.
I heard you got a new nickname out of the deal.
Plug.
Plug.
Yeah,
Not-
they
not
even did a
plug,
how-to
plug.
video on how to charge your batteries for me.
Hey, well, since you're experienced in charging your batteries, how about showing that video to David, would you?
Yeah, I got a how-to video for you on how to charge your batteries. But
Oh boy.
yep.
Oh gosh.
But I'm really more proud about
Did
what
you
I
see Jody's
what I
question?
did yesterday
Yeah,
on
but
Norman.
we've bypassed several we need to deal with.
No, okay.
All right, Jody Wright wants to know, how do you feel about new competitors coming to the NPFL next year?
Yeah, I'm all for it. And there's public now. Patrick Waters, Buddy Gross, Greg Hackney, and there's some more coming.
Or is it that they're coming to, or they're going to try to fish both?
They're fishing both, but they're signed up to fish our tournaments, and there's no conflict on scheduled dates. Well, a lot of guys are weary about it, but in my mind, everybody out there is trying to make a name for themselves, right? And I don't really think you can do that unless you beat some of them guys that's already made that name for themselves. Like Greg
That's right.
Hackney didn't become Greg Hackney by winning, weekend tournaments.
He didn't do it overnight either. It took a while.
Right, but the big thing is you have to have the opportunity to compete against them. So I'm all for them
There you
guys
go.
coming
That's
in.
right.
So, and I've I've thought about this a pretty good bit. I don't really think that impacts the winner, because I think the winner's gonna catch what it takes to win on that lake at that time of year, no matter what tournament it is.
That's exactly right.
I think the field getting stronger from top to bottom affects the pay line, because you may find 13 pounds a day to yourself, but when you get a field with from here to here, everybody out there can find fish. You're going to end up sharing fish.
That's exactly right.
And I think that's where the stronger field impacts more so than winning tournaments. I think it becomes harder to stay consistent because you're finding the same fish as other people.
The problem with that is there's a lot of guys. I had that issue this year at one tournament. I'm not going to call no name who it was, but we found the same fish, and I didn't go to him the first day, but I did the second day.
Yeah.
And he felt like I came in on him.
Yeah.
I mean, we had words about it, and at the end of the day, I wound up just cracking the boat up and leaving.
I'm pretty sure that's on that individual's YouTube channel. I don't know if you watched it or not.
I have not.
Yeah.
Well,
Not you two speaking, but you could see your boat while he's fishing on the inside. Yeah.
yeah.
Go check it out.
I don't care. It don't matter to me.
No, I'm just saying it's on there. There was no confrontation between you
There's
and him on
always some
there.
drama in the fishing world, isn't there?
I could just see you inside.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But he was fishing a little farther offshore than you if it's the same
Well,
one.
see, that's the thing is he was 200
Yeah.
yards from me, and I was really all I was doing was going across the point, and I got about halfway across the point, and I caught one. Well, I was down in the boat, and I hear a boat crank up. Well, next thing I could tell it's coming at me, and it's getting close fast. Well, I turn around in the boat and look. Well, when I stand up, he's yelling at me. And I was like, hey, dude, look, I practiced here too. And he went to, and finally I just said, all right, look, I'm not arguing with you about this. And I just cranked the boat up and left. No big deal.
Yeah.
But I mean, people take offense to that, and they feel like, and this is just me, I think that some of them's ego thinks that, well, I'm da-da-da-da-da, and he's seen me fishing here, so he came over here.
It's
Yeah.
a Napoleon complex.
So,
That's what it is.
But, yeah, like I said, it's the stronger the field gets, the harder it gets. Not necessarily the winner's going to win. The weight to win is going to stay the same. What really changes is where the cut line weight is. And then really how you're going to end up sharing water with more people.
Yeah.
It just is what it is. But I'm looking forward to it. Shoot. If I can beat Greg Hackney, even by 300ths of an ounce, I'm going to be happy about it,
Uh-oh.
Oh, you'll have that on them big jobs.
Yeah.
All right. Randy Hillier. No, I do not own a restaurant over near Southport, North Carolina. That is not us. We got to back up here. David Etheridge, a.k.a. Roundman, wants to know what we think about the Exaba Lakes and why they're fishing so tough lately. And he put water levels with a question mark.
Who wants to answer that?
They're ripping
I
water
don't-
through the lake too fast, I think.
I don't know.
And
I-
as soon as it comes in, they just suck it out.
I think that they draw the lakes down before a storm, and then let the water fill up. The minute it fills back up, they suck it right back. There's no, stability is a thing of the past.
Yeah, they can't get
And-
it and get cut.
And then it's low, been low, and I think this is the new normal for, I think the next couple of years, because there's a lot of projects going on the river below here that kind of have been dictating what's happened.
You can say what they are. If you don't, I will.
A whitewater center.
That's right.
Yeah. I'm all for people having an opportunity to get outside, but right now it's really messing up the fishing.
I'm legitimately concerned about the population in Lake Wiley. There's something wrong with Lake Wiley as far as the population of fish in the lake. They're not there anymore.
No, they're not there. They are absolutely not there. And I've always been kind of skeptical about everybody complaining about it because I don't fish Wiley a whole lot. But after spending a Saturday out here with him, he's pretty good out here, all bullcrap aside. And, dude, we struggled. Absolutely struggled to catch 5 keepers.
Yeah.
We had to go do some really off the wall
We
things.
sure did.
Just drop back and punt. Granted, losing 2 hours of a day doesn't help. Okay, but do I think that I could have caught 13 pounds had I had that 2 hours? I don't know.
I don't think so.
I mean, granted, we didn't venture into any creeks. We didn't do anything different. We stuck to the same plan all day, and it wasn't the right plan. I can tell you that.
Well, if you'd had a 5 pounder, what would you have had? You had a 5.
Well, see, that's always the deal.
Well, we've been close. I mean,
all it takes,
you
one
know,
bite.
the problem is if you fish Wiley long enough to know, predominantly your bigger fish come from the main lake a lot of times. And so I'll roll the dice fishing the main lake before I'll run back in a creek, unless it's the springtime and then you're still playing that what if game.
That's always been the deal on Norman, right? Is who finds that 5 pounder or
That's
that
right.
4 pounder and gets 4 solid fish to go with it, you know. But out here, it's a pure. I mean, you might as well take dice out there in the parking lot and roll it, because I mean, it's if you find that bite out here, you found a unicorn.
Yeah.
You know, and if they were in there eventually, some point in the year, somebody show them to you.
Yep.
And they don't show them anymore. I mean, C-Rot had a 20-pound bag this year, one time, I think, right? I'm pretty sure he did.
He didn't have 20 this year.
Yeah, he did.
I've seen 3 20-pound bags come out of that lake in the last 3 or 4 years. That's it. That's just what I've seen get posted online.
I mean, there was a 23 this past winter, Chris Fuentes.
He had a 7 and a 8 or something.
He
crazy.
had 2 back-to-back close to 7s.
Yeah.
And it was literally
That'll get you there.
diagonally across from where I caught one the week before it was 698.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
If you catch 2 7s, you better have 20.
Yeah, you ain't kidding.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, it's this lake's just weird. I mean, you'll go out there one day and think that things are turning around for better, and then the next time you go out there, you get thumped in the forehead again. I mean, you've done this enough. You've caught big bags, and then come out here and been like,
I hate coming to this.
how do I do this again? I mean,
I don't even walk on my dock no more because I hate it so much.
That's bad there now.
The catfish has got big, and
Yeah.
I'll say that.
Yeah.
I think they're eating all the dead bass.
And sewage.
That's
Yeah.
what I've heard.
I mean, there's the catfish in this lake are ridiculous.
But watery too, because man, I remember water eating. It's been less than 6, 7 years ago. It took 20 pounds to win, whether you there was February or
Didn't
October. It didn't matter. It took 20 pounds, and that's it's 9 or 10 pounds now. It's
If you can catch a limit.
yeah, it's weird. It's weird.
All right, Sean Ski, I'm gonna dive on this, and I'll take
I can't see it. What
I'll take the grenade for this one.
What did he say?
Along the lines of sharing water, the high school captains need to be teaching water respect as well as fishing strategies. Murray this weekend was awful, not directed at you, Shane Lineberger.
Just say amen and move on.
I mean, but it's a factual state. I mean, there's a lot of kids coming into high school fishing, which is awesome. The coaching is lacking when it comes to, getting them on the water is great. Teaching them how to be on the water is the next step in that game.
But see, though, here's the. Gosh, I shouldn't even open this can of worms.
Let's open it.
But,
I mean, we're
but
here.
here's what happens, and this is just my opinion. I think with a lot of the high school fishing is you got dads
That don't know any better.
that don't
too.
know any better. They've never really spent time fishing bass tournaments, but their kid takes
Interest.
takes an interest in the tournament scene. Well, us as parents, we're going to do what we can for our kids. So he puts him in a boat and takes him fishing. Well, he don't know that pulling 2 docks in front of a guy coming down the road docks isn't the thing to do. I mean, and then somebody gets mad, and then it winds up in a bbig yelling match, and
There's no education there because you end up screaming and getting mad. you know?
Nobody can just sit down and say, "Hey, look, this is not cool." You need to try to be respectful of guys on the water, be respectful of each other, and hopefully it'll get a little better.
But you never want to deter a kid from
No, absolutely not.
from enjoying the sport.
Yep, and guys, please take that into consideration before you go flying off the handle in your $30 club tournament, yelling at some kid. I mean, it's you don't want to run him off before he gets started.
Fishing is unique in the fact that if your kid wants to play baseball, there's camps you can send your kid to learn how to play baseball. There's coaches that are hired to teach those kids how to play baseball.
That's right.
Every other sport in high school is that way. fishing's unique because, you know, the kid wants to do it. There's a team, but nobody's ever showed the parents or the captains or anybody.
That's
you know,
right.
and there needs to be an organization out there that cares enough to actually teach the captains as well as the anglers
That's
before
right.
Well,
they
and
just
you-
turn them loose on the water.
And
Exactly
you got
right.
and you got high school coaches, okay, and that. But again, most of that's a volunteer thing.
It is,
And-
and
and-
it's
That's my point. Yeah.
we're closed. Call back tomorrow.
That's odd.
You know, there's not a
Lawrence
varsity
can do
high
it.
school fishing coach, but it's getting that way. I mean, some colleges are actually hiring coaches now, ex-professionals out there to coach.
Really?
Yeah. So
What's the word?
it'll evolve, but
Hey, grab me one of them waters while you're in there, please.
dude, in Florida, I had a high school kid fight a 3-pounder around my trolling motor. He did. I just caught
Thank you.
3-on-3 casts, and I went to get another trailer from my chatterbait, and I looked up, and the kid was fighting a 3-pounder around my trolling motor. So,
I mean,
but I didn't yell at the kid. I just told the captain, you know, you probably need to tell him this isn't the way you handle yourself on the water, you know. And I'm not blaming the captain because nobody ever told him.
Yeah,
that.
he didn't know either.
You know what
Exactly
I mean?
right.
So,
Hopefully, somewhere down the line, there'll be something to
yep.
maybe teach the kids and the captains all at the same time.
Yeah.
You know, try to help them out with a little fishing and try to help them out
I mean,
with etiquette on the water too.
and in the reality, I mean, again, everybody has rights to the lake, and I mean, you can still fish behind them and catch fish too. Really and truly, because they're not, they're not expert anglers. They don't know a lot of times. They can't slide it under a pontoon boat. There's kids out there that can. There's some pretty fantastic high school fishermen, but it's just the coaching needs to be stronger in the on the water aspect of it.
And us as anglers just going to have to get used to the fact that the sport's growing, and that's a good thing.
It is. It's a good thing.
But you got to
it's good
share the
and
water
bad.
with more people, and you just got to get used to it, man. But I'd rather the kid come out and fish than do other things.
Absolutely.
You know, so,
The old saying I was taught a long time ago: you teach your kids to hunt and fish, you won't ever have to hunt your kids.
There's truth to that.
unless they shoot.
Dylan
on it.
Falk wants to know if you'll take the trophy off the table. It's too painful for him to look at.
Don't you do that?
Don't take
No,
that down.
no.
Put
Move it over a little bit.
No,
Put
yeah,
it
get
over
it over there a
here.
little closer so Dylan can see it a little better.
Oh man.
Dylan, I hate you had a prior engagement today. We could have used you on the golf team.
What you trying to say?
Man, I'm just saying it would have been fun to play
What
golf
was
with
you-
Dylan.
Oh, okay.
We didn't need him. I mean, we still got the right outcome. It just would have been fun to play golf with Dylan.
That's right.
It was fun.
It was a good time.
We won by a couple. Anyway, so and again, guys, we didn't bring up the high school thing,
No,
tell bad
no,
stories
no,
or
absolutely
to
not.
bash high school fishing. I mean,
No.
really, it's a good thing having kids on the water. We just each and every one of us, when we're on the water, need to be willing to maybe take a minute just to explain things. Instead of just getting mad and losing your mind, take a minute, say, hey, look, this isn't cool, and give them a reason why. And, if it turns hostile, then back away. Let them have it. There's plenty of lake out there.
Yep. It's not worth
No.
all the shouting match and all that crap.
Me and you had a run in at Norman a couple of years ago.
And how did I handle it, Cody?
Very well.
Cody cut me off going in the pocket. He did. He flat cut me off.
All right.
He pulled. No, I'm not gonna tell the story.
I'm a back
No,
out of
it was
this.
cool. It was cool. It was cool. He cut me off. I didn't say anything. At the weigh-in, me and him, it was the first day of the BFL. We both made the cut. And I walked up to him. I said, "Bud, let me tell you something. What you done today was not cool. Is that not what I told you?"
That would have been bad though if I'd have caught a 5-pounder.
It would have been bad, but I would have still handled it the same.
Yeah.
And we've been fine ever since. I ain't had a problem, and we didn't have a problem that day. I just let him know it wasn't cool.
I mean,
It happened.
listen, Brandon Williams and I have had it out before. They were fishing that way on a bank, and I pulled into a dock. I didn't realize they were just milking it for all it was worth. And he come to me at weigh, and I'm like, whoa, my bad. I thought you were going the other way. My apologies. Ain't never had another word since.
Well, see, that's what you do. I mean, you just handle it. I mean, there ain't no need in acting like a bunch of idiots, like some people do. I mean, and I'll be first out to admit I've lost my cool on the water before.
I listen.
But-
I have to.
But it takes a lot for me to lose my cool doing anything. But when I lose it all the way. That's my problem.
Sham will let you take that one.
What did it say? Well, I mean, Sean, I'll tell you something, bub. There was one particular individual that was pretty pissed off at me that day.
Hey, Chris, if I cut you off at Murray, then I got some insider information 'cause I ain't even got a clue. I'm just going to follow you around. If you want to jump in the boat, come on.
Hey, that's something funny at Grand. So Keith Carson, like, I mess with Keith like this in the morning. I'm like, man, where are we going this morning? You know what I mean? Like,
I do it all the time,
wherever
too.
you go, whatever. Well, Keith, like, he said, man, I don't even remember who it was, but he said a guy come up to him. He was like, kind of did what I did, you know. Where are we going this morning? He said, but the guy must have been serious because he followed him straight into the place he started. And there was a
He
point.
wanted to get in on
There
some
was
of that.
a point separating these two short pockets, and Keith said, "Well, I went in the right pocket," so he just went in the left pocket, and he caught a 7 or the big fish of the tournament was like right at 7 pounds right there, like first thing the first morning. And he said he told Keith that. Keith's like, "That's cool, man." Keith said I crunk up and left, and I just like screamed in my hat. Yeah, he said he didn't know if it was coincidence that they ended up in the same place or what. But he said,
Man, I appreciate you. Help my brother out.
The problem is you're going to run into people on the water. I mean, I've run into you on the water. I mean, we've run into each other. You just have that. When
But you were on my stuff.
Was I?
I don't know.
I mean,
I love that my stuff.
hey,
part of it,
you know
too.
what?
That's my dog.
I got-
no, you know it ain't.
I got a saying to that. If you can write your name on the water and it stick, then you can have it.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
Yeah.
it's
You know,
open
you know
water.
something though. All bull crap aside about that. Most everybody, we all fish
It's-
the same crap.
You just don't
you,
know
You
it.
just don't. Everybody moves around so much.
Yeah.
You just very rarely run into each other.
Listen, Cody was pulling out of a place, and I saw him coming like, are you kidding me? I didn't know anybody even bothered going in there. It was something I'd still fish. It's like, I go in here, never see anybody, never hear nobody.
I love it on Bass Live when two guys are fishing in the same area, but neither one of them realize that
Yeah.
the other one's fishing it, and they're rotating it all day long,
Yep.
and nobody knows.
And where that really shows up is on MLF.
Yeah.
When they fish the Group A and
Yeah.
Group B. Well, the dude from Group A, like that, crap, where was that at? I don't know. Anyway, one of them was sitting there beating the snot out of it
Yeah.
and thinking about, finally he pulled off of it and said, I better save some of these fish.
Yeah.
Well, the next day, Group B's out there and there's two guys sitting on it and they're just catching the fire
Was
out
that
of
Matt Lee when they were in New York or whatever?
No, Matt Lee had that millful bed to himself
okay.
where he caught 90-something bass out of.
Hey, Pug, there's some guy on here named James Clements said he's retired and his schedule's open to fish any tournament on Norman if you need a partner. Said, don't be scared that he won't outfish you too bad.
James Clemens. said
James Clements said
that? I
that.
got you. I got a partner. No, that's my no, that's my dad. That's like a 6-7 hour drive for him. to
I'm
drive
sorry,
up there alone.
Pug's daddy. That was just harsh. I mean, that was just, man. You can come on. I'll fish with you, James.
He's throwing stuff at the screen right now. You son of a...
Oh
Yeah,
man.
you can switch your timing up on your stuff.
Yeah.
You do.
And then you
Sometimes
realize
run
that-
backwards, you're gonna run into people
Yep.
all
That's
day.
right. That's a fact.
You can get in a bad rotation in some tournaments.
Yep.
And be fishing behind somebody all day and not realize.
Listen,
you're doing
Don't
it.
realize
Before Tim Chapman and I started fishing, got him and Mark Leach. It was funny. We'd fish a lot of the same stuff, but never really see each other. And then all of a sudden, it's like I pull up something. He's like, "You fish this?" Well, yeah. Well, I do too. And then all of a sudden, you're like, "Okay, here we go."
Yeah. Yep.
I mean,
Yeah.
But
I mean the thing about it is there's only so much what I would call good stuff on any lake.
Mhm.
And if you spend any time out there, you're going to find the majority of it.
Yeah.
there's still some little. I mean, well, no, there's
no
not.
secrets.
It's not secrets, but it's stuff that has been that everybody cycles off of that you can sometimes go back to and catch one that matters.
Yeah.
I mean,
Beautiful
Probably.
thing about fishing on the road on lakes you have no clue about is you don't know what's like Grand Lake. Apparently, I was fishing this marina wall and his locals come by and I caught two while they were idling through the no wake zone right there. So they shut it down. There was 2 boats and they shut it down. They watched me for a little bit and I went to leave and they were like, "Dude, why in the world did you fish out here?" I said, "What do you mean?" They
are
were
those
like,
the same 2 guys that you heard the grass go beep for the waypoint?
Yeah, they hit the waypoint on it, yeah, for sure. But all it was a break wall out in front of a marina, but it was over like 72 foot of water. But the fish were like suspended, like right under the break wall.
Those fish will do that crap at Lake Lanier.
Listen, sometimes out here, how many times have you caught fish suspended under a boat dock out here because of all the pressure?
All the time.
I mean,
especially when they're doing that water the way it
Yeah.
is. They'll get out there and suspend because there's no steady water.
That's
It's
right.
up and
But
down,
my
up and
point
down.
being, them locals, I didn't know I was doing something stupid. You know what I
It
mean?
was
All I
working.
knew is
It
I
was
was
working
catching
for you.
fish.
Yeah,
So
it was
you know.
working for you. That's all that matters.
you don't know what's right or wrong. You just go fish.
That's
know?
right.
It's funny. Me and my roommate, every tournament, it's inevitable. We'll pull out. We'll come in after day one, like talking about our day, and then I'll catch something or he'll catch something. I said, I'm like, "What dock you talking about?" And it turned out both of us caught 3 or 4 keepers off the exact same dock.
No,
during
that
the
dock
tournament,
spent.
That
dock spent.
You know what I mean?
Hey,
So-
there was a dock at Douglas one year. We were up there for a BFL regional in the fall. There were 2 guys made the All-American off of one dock.
Mm-hmm.
And didn't know it. One was going there in the morning, and the other one was going there in the evening, and they all caught all their fish all 3 days off of that one dock.
Yeah. It's there's plenty of fish out there.
How many? Shane, you fish a jig bunch. Cody, you do too. How many docks you pull up to? You fire a jig under, and know there's supposed to be a fish there, and there probably is, but they don't even turn and look at your jig. I mean, how often do you think that happens?
It happens a lot because you can see it on live.
Yeah, as I said, that Garmin will tell you exactly how often it happens.
Because they'll come, you'll see them, we gonna get it, and then
Yep. Something about it he don't like.
Well, see, I don't have live scope. And
Now let's I'm gonna bring this question up. Do y'all think that shooting a live scope under the dock deters the fish from biting? Because they can feel it.
sometimes when I hit them with it, I'll just kick it out to the side because I don't like watching them eat.
I don't turn mine
Because
on when
they'll
I fish
jerk
docks for that reason.
See, I think live scope, much like the A-rig, will be good for a window. And then once these fish get used to it, all this video game fishing that Pug's doing down there, like, oh, he's on it. I saw some of your videos. I mean, at some point, that's going to go away.
Nope.
I don't think it will either.
I'm telling you.
Well, just like sonar's going away. Do you know how loud a sonar is under the water?
You know how many schools of fish you can idle over out here and not catch one because you idle over them?
I don't know. Sometimes fish are in the mood to eat, and
But
sometimes
see,
they're not.
the thing about that is with live scope, you don't idle over them anymore.
I know,
You stop 100 feet from it and drop your trolling motor up there. They are, and then you just start casting. You don't have to drive over them.
And you ain't got to leave it right on them.
No.
Yep, and I think driving over them spooks them more than sonar does.
Yeah, them fish don't. No, it's never going to be a thing. It passes nothing. It's going to get more and more innovative. I don't know where they can go with it. It's
I
going to
don't
get
know
to
either.
a point that they're going to
Next-
have to stop it.
Next, it's going to be like watching TV and saying,
Yeah.
"There he is."
Yeah.
You talking about driving boat there fish? I remember out here on Wiley we used to go run donuts around them. They'd come up school.
They used to. Now you
Grass
can't
lakes
get
are
them to
still
come up
like
school
that.
in nowhere.
People would look at you like you're stupid out there doing donuts.
Yep.
You jump up on the front of the boat and they'd just be schooling everywhere.
Yeah. We were at Gunnersville one year and we in a frog tournament and we caught. I think we ended up 7th or 8th. It was top 10. There was 200 something boats. We caught every fish we had out of one hole, and we would catch one, and then literally crank the big motor and idle around that mat, and then like the bait would start flipping again around that hole, and then we'd catch another.
You push the bait back.
We'd
in
push
there.
that bait back up the top of that grass, and the fish would push up and feed again.
I made a top 10 at Smith Lake in Alabama doing that.
Yeah.
Me and Jason Williamson. The first time I ever went out there was in October. We had this one point that we were sharing. The second day, it slicked off. We both had like 12 pounds the first day. Second day, it slicked off. And he got up in the boat and gets up, started drawing donuts. I'm like, dude, what are you doing? He set the boat down, here to come. And I caught him. And then when it settled back down, I'd do it. Then he'd stand up and catch him. And we both caught him like that.
Oh, it used to be like out here you could go to any one of the flats and do it and just pull off of it and hold top water because they're going to come up.
But there's times when you see fish that won't eat, and there's times when you see fish that are in the mood to eat. I mean, it's always been that way. We just couldn't see it on the screen. You know, I like that one that he said. It felt so good.
And that live scope, I mean, it really, I mean, you got to figure out which one's a bite and which one's
Yep,
not.
that's
It
it,
ain't,
man.
it ain't, well, there he is, I'm going to catch it.
Yeah, they all don't bite.
And
You
they
see
all ain't
hundreds a
fast.
day that don't eat.
Keith the
Yeah.
boat. Keith has got a question here about he needs a good battery for his live scope. It drains his battery so bad. He wants a suggestion on independent lithium battery. I will say this, Keith. The first problem you may have is the wire going from your battery to your graph is not big enough.
Yeah, it needs
That's
to
a
be.
that's a
yeah.
first start. Start there first, and
What'd you
then
say?
8 gauge, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it needs to be at least the 8 gauge. Now, I can tell you this, Keith, what a lot of guys are doing, they are running a dedicated battery for the live scope, whether it be a small lithium
A 12-volt
or
drill
a
battery.
12 volt drill battery. And do not, and anybody that decides to try the drill battery thing, make sure it's a 12 volt.
Yeah.
If you put an 18 volt in there, you're going to fry your stuff.
Yeah. But that does two things. It saves your battery, and another thing it does is takes interference that you would be picking up through other things in your
That's
boat
right.
off the same battery and puts it on the independent power source to the live scope. So you get a little
Yep.
bit cleaner
It'll be a
picture.
clear-
so
it'll be a
you
cleaner
could
view.
pick up a small like Dakota lithium that they use for the kayakers
Yeah.
and just
Yep.
throw it in the front
Yeah.
box and
Yep.
strap it
Or
down.
go buy your 12 volt lithium drill battery and get they make a set that's pre-made for it. And this is not Garmin. Garmin doesn't support this, but you can have a kit to basically wire it up to a 12 volt lithium
Yep.
drill battery in your boat to run it independently.
I know some guys that are doing that. The only drawback is you have to keep one or two of them in your boat for spares, and then when you go in at night, be sure and put them on the charger.
Dylan, buddy, go to bed. You're
What'd it
tired.
say?
It says go green. Solar is the only way to run live scope.
Oh boy. Hey, what's that say? Tyler Wynn.
You know her?
Sure.
She knows Pug.
I guess so.
She's
famous.
He is famous. He's TikTok famous.
300ths of an ounce famous.
Shut up.
I mean, Shane, sometimes you just got to take that one.
Hey man, it is what I'm blaming it on Jason Land. It's his fault.
I mean, if you have a shoddy Waymaster, that tends to be the case.
I'm not saying he's shoddy, but they figured out some way to cheat.
Yeah.
Oh, listen,
That's why I didn't fizz that fish. They was 300ths an ounce worth of air in that
They
one deep fish. I
probably
had.
so.
KC, what's up, buddy?
Oh man.
Oh,
My back's hurting.
Tim Kelly got him a deer today.
We take snack sticks and beef jerky.
Yes, sir.
Dylan thought I made a top 10 in the 12 boat club tournament doing that.
Something's wrong with Dylan tonight. He's a little happy.
He's just tired.
What amp hour do you use?
I got a 125 for a cranking battery.
Yeah, that's what I'm on.
Mine's a 100 amp hour cranking
But
battery.
I got that power pole charge too, so I don't know.
Man, you got all the cool stuff. You want to sell that?
I got 3 AGMs and an AX2 also.
I'm good on
Who
that.
was that? Somebody was looking for some. Who was that?
I got a whole
Roundman. Well, no, never mind. Roundman's boat came with him in it, so he's good now.
I'll make somebody a deal on it if they want.
I need to see if I can't snake me a power pole charge sometime.
Jeff's
You need one.
Jeff's taking his his live scope out for the first time
Who?
Wednesday.
Jeff McAfee.
Yeah.
I think I might have to break down and buy another one. I sold mine.
Dude, I'm telling you, that's a
Why would you sell it?
that is a
I become a ding dong. What can I say?
that's a heck of a tool, bro.
Because here's the thing. I like the 360 because
Run both.
I thank you. I know. I didn't think I would want to run both, but the way I fish, I don't feel like live scope's going to help that much, except for
You're
in the
out of your
wintertime.
mind.
No, only in the wintertime. I fish more objects than I do anything else.
Dude,
I'm gonna tell you something. You pull up to a brush pile and you shine that scope on there. If there ain't no little white dots moving, you can crank up.
When
Yeah.
I said
you're exactly right.
Because there ain't no fish in that
Ain't
booger.
nobody's home.
I said objects, I didn't say brush piles.
Nobody's
I don't know
home.
anything, man. I mean anything, bro. A dot piling, anything.
I fish like rocks and tires.
You can see them. I'm telling you, the only time live scope is you really, if they're in those big rocks, but like you'll drop on a big rock and you'll see them float out the big rock, like
Especially smallmouth.
Yeah,
Smallmouth are notorious for that.
I think it would
You
be
might
cool.
see one little blip, and then when you flip in there,
Yep.
and especially if you hook one, then the bottom comes
dang,
alive.
there's a bunch of them
There's
there.
a bunch of them suckers down there. Let me get back in there.
Yeah.
John Martin, because the voltage drop doesn't happen in the cord from the unit. You got to get power to the unit before you have to worry about. I mean, 8 gauge is good for power transfer. The unit can have a 12 gauge cable or 10 or whatever. You got to get the power to that cable.
But the 8 gauge too is going to give you a cleaner picture. And I don't know the science, but I'm just
I
telling
don't
you,
know
it
either.
gives you a better picture.
Maybe we
That's-
could get Soka to talk about that. You think he would?
Oh yeah.
No, he won't.
Well, he'll give you a little bit. He won't
yeah.
give you the whole deal.
He ain't gonna
But
give you nothing.
I look on his unit and I get mad. Like I like mine and I look at his and I'm like, man, mine ain't worth a crap. But he's got that thing down to a
Listen, the nerds will rule the fishing industry for too much longer. Mark my words. If you guys keep agreeing to this graph stuff, the nerds will be catching more fish than you.
Danny Gibson's catching strippers.
I don't
They
even know.
went to Ken Friendly.
Oh, that's striper. Excuse me.
Hey, that thing is fun on stripers, though.
Yeah, it is.
You go to Murray and down the birds.
Yeah,
Birds get everybody else leaving. You stand out there in there, big school of them. Going
I done that 2 years ago. Me and Brandon went down there in January,
Yeah.
and they did that. You know, when we used to chase birds, when the birds would leave,
You don't know where they at.
nah. When the birds leave now, like you said, you just pan that thing around.
Yeah.
Oh, there they
Yeah.
are. Choom.
I had folks out there that didn't have live scope throwing where I would throw. 'Cause we
Now you're the bird.
Yeah.
Man, you have to go buy your own.
I'll tell you something else I like about it, where I think it's better than anything else. So, like, well, just like Sunday, there was fish. We were trying to catch them on a drop shot, right? They wouldn't bite it. They'd look at it. I picked up a different bait and threw it, and they reacted to it, like, instantly.
Yeah.
And, like, you just know the drop shot ain't the right thing then. You know, you can literally figure out what they eating by just watching them on that
Right.
screen.
You see how they react to your bait. Absolutely.
Any experience with live sight versus live scope?
Yeah, boy. I can tell you firsthand. Tom, the boat I fished the open out of at Norman, had the Lowrance on it. And there's two things that I'd say that I really don't like about the Lowrance versus the Garmin. Number one, the Lowrance has way too much interference. And number two, which is I think the biggest thing, there's no way to adjust it.
That's right.
You don't have any settings on it, nothing to adjust, it's plug and play. And as to the Garmin, you got so many different settings that you can tweak and get a much better and cleaner picture. And you know, and that's not to throw shade at Garmin, I mean at Lowrance or anything else. That's just what I seen. And
So you can get it so clean you read a beer can underwater just about.
it's not that it's like this. If you, because I spend a lot of time on Coot's boat and he spent a lot of time on mine. If you get the perfect conditions for the Lowrance is actually a sharper image than the Garmin is, but it has to be the perfect conditions. But if I get in muddy water or when the wind blows or shallower water, I can't
Yep, you
adjust
can't
it,
adjust
and
it,
there's
exactly.
so much distortion in the screen,
Exactly
and I have no
right.
adjustment there for
Yep.
it.
you're just kind of, that's what I say, it's kind of a plug and
Yeah.
play. It is what it is.
Sean Ski, I'm with you on that whole philosophy there. Outlawed A-rig, but live scope is cool.
Man, I ain't gonna have that argument.
You can't have that argument because you won a bunch of money on A-rig.
Well,
Yeah,
here's the deal: when you're throwing an A-rig, and
It's
they're
not
on
just
an A-rig,
chucking and winding anymore.
But if they're on an A-rig and you're not throwing it, you can't win.
That's exactly right. That was always my complaint with it. Because you think about it, when the A-rig came out, when it first came out, when you would go to a tournament from, let's say, November to March, what did you see?
So I got
Chandeliers flying everywhere. It looked
Yeah,
like they stole somebody's stole them out of
a
mom's
question. So
kitchen.
we can't outlaw a jig though.
No,
No, you're missing the whole point.
I mean,
No, you're missing the point. Listen, when they were buying the A-rig, you had to throw it.
there was no option.
Have you ever been to a tournament where you had to throw a jig?
No.
No.
could catch
Or
them
you had
different
to
ways.
throw a crankbait?
I mean, I've fished tournaments where if you wanted to win, you better throw a jig.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just-
Okay,
That's where
but
I
here's the
first found
thing.
out about the jig.
But you didn't know that going into the tournament. I can tell you right now, when the A-rig was at its heyday, If it's
I-
cold,
listen.
just
this-
leave everything else at home.
It's
I
still
made
like
a
that
bunch
today.
of- I
If
made-
you go to Murray,
No.
and the water's under 55 degrees, you better sling a rig.
Nah.
Okay.
I tell you what, I can bring
Nah.
2 people here to prove you wrong.
You don't have to bring 2. One of them sitting here.
Look,
I mean, I'm just saying.
but the whole
Cody's
argument
over
to
here
start
chewing his
with,
tongue off, about ready to say something.
well, I get it, but I'm just telling you, the whole argument is Garmin versus the A-Rig. And those are 2 totally separate things,
It
man.
is.
Because
They are.
I'm telling you, you see 500 fish a day on that Garmin, and they won't bite. Well, I mean, there ain't nothing you can do. They still got an option.
Then listen,
That's right.
they don't have. They got the option not to bite A-Rig
Yeah, they do, and they've chose that option in the last couple of years.
because it's been high, muddy, and nasty, and
Wait
till it gets cold.
They've gotten conditioned to it.
Has anybody out there where y'all around when the spinnerbait first hit the market? I'm assuming that was kind of equivalent
No,
to what
the
the
chatter-
A-Rig
the
was.
chatterbait
Or the
would have been
chatterbait,
more
yeah,
recent.
It was equivalent. Once they've seen a million, they get adapted to it. I mean,
Right.
unless you're up north, and then they're just still retarded to it.
They done the rattle trap the same way.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just entirely too much crying, in my opinion. It's-
There you
it's
go.
not-
That's the best comment I've seen. Let's ban egg beaters.
No.
Dang
No.
right.
Egg beaters are check getters. You all get you a check on the egg beater.
I mean, I really feel like it shouldn't be. You know what? You have to know how to throw A-Rig anymore. It's not just throw it out there and wind it back. You have to know how to throw a jig. You have to know how to use live scope. Let it ride. I mean,
really, at this point, we're beating a dead horse anyway.
we are.
First of all, in the tournament industry, technology and sponsorship for trails, it's not going away. Like, Bass is not going to say Garmin no more because then Garmin can't make any more money.
They tried that with beer.
You know what I mean?
They tried that with beer, didn't they?
It's never going to happen. I mean,
Did they try that with beer?
Yeah, they at one time Bass eliminated all. It wasn't just Bass. FLW did it also. No alcohol or tobacco sponsorships, and there were a lot of guys. You remember Crown Royal had a whole team.
Listen, Crown Royal, Evan Williams. There's been several of them. Wild Turkey a couple of years ago. What was it? Wild Times.
But-
What? I
So
don't know.
Here's the downside to electronics, and this is what it is. It's not the fishing ability. What it is it's becoming so expensive. Because I'll be honest with you, if you don't have live scope, you are at a disadvantage. There's times of the
100%.
year where you're 100% at a disadvantage to a guy
100%.
that has it. And the sad part is, if you can't afford it, then you're at a competitive disadvantage because of it. And that's the downside of the bass fishing industry as a whole. I mean, you know, if you can't go put $12,000 in electronics, then it can put you at a disadvantage. I mean, it just can. So I wish stuff would become more affordable.
Well, I mean, it don't really help you if they're up shallow. 5
No, it
foot
don't.
bass.
But I'm saying there's times a year.
Do you ever fish deeper than that?
I mean, yes.
Yeah, he does. Don't let him lie you.
Lanier will teach you a thing or two about that.
You right.
I mean, when you roll up the middle of the cave and there's a 5-pound spot sitting out there in 60 foot of water, and you
Yep.
throw a jerkbait over top of him, and he comes up. And eats it.
That's a good feeling. That sucker come 30 foot away sometimes.
You
You,
got
can
to
see
have
booty,
live
booty,
scope
booty.
to
He's like, come here, got him.
Got him.
I don't know. I've caught plenty of fish without. You know what? When your boat gets situated, I need to go out and just play with it before I go drop another $3,000.
You 3. Where you gonna get one
get
for
about
3?
3,500.
Yeah, where you gonna get? If you get
I'm
one for
sure-
3, you better get it.
I'm sure I probably find a retread somewhere.
Most people don't sell their life coat.
No.
Well, Mike Stevens, you got a deal then, buddy.
Yeah, well, like I say, it's dude. I'm just telling you, there's times, not always, but there's times where if you don't have, you go up north smallmouth fishing at certain times
It's
of
a
year,
must.
You got to have it.
You just well leave your rod and reels in the motel room if you ain't got one.
Well, I don't know. That place was pretty good last week.
Yeah,
We
but
didn't need a live scope. I
Yeah,
can
but
tell
you
that.
weren't there in July either.
No, that's true. Now, which is that's a little dumb.
Why is it dumb?
That when they take you, that's just
Oh, you talking about when we go up there
yeah.
fishing?
I mean, let's show off what the fishery can actually do.
They
'Cause
worry about when.
Well,
I mean, I'm just saying, it's if you're saying it's bad in July and you got to worry about it in July, let me tell you something.
it's not bad in July. It's not. To be honest with you, I don't think those northern fisheries are ever bad.
I was gonna say, there's no way. Those fish. Are,
Now they are times where they're better than others, but they're never bad.
Well, if you go to Champlain in October, how many days in a month do you think you can get out? And
I'm
actually
gonna tell
get
you
around
something.
the
I
lake?
just did it for 3 days in a row.
The thing about Champlain is there's so many boat ramps in Champlain. You can put in about anywhere you want to. You don't have to run up down the lake.
I mean, for a
Now
tournament.
for a tournament,
Yeah.
that's a different animal.
I mean, yes, you do have a weather factor to think about, but I'm gonna tell you something. We must have just hit 3 good days. That's all I can say.
I agree with that, John. They bite a jig when it first come out, and they still bite it
They
today.
still bite it today.
That's right. I love a jig, but I like other things too.
You know,
How you throw a jig on a spinning rod?
I've done. My daddy throws a jig on a spinning rod.
Does he
He's
really?
still 100%.
I'm gonna
I
tell
don't blame you. I wouldn't fish with him either.
well, listen.
Hey, you would have seen him set the hook on that thing and do this look. That thing's like, ying, ying. He's like, oh, puh. But he throws a little ball head jig a lot. He makes his own little ball head jig. He calls it his tater chip.
Tater chip.
Yeah, it's funny because I'm like, when you're saying T, I'm throwing that big 3/4 ounce mop jig with a skirt that long and a big old trailer, and he's behind me with that little ball head tater chip. You know, we got the 1-2 punch going on.
What you got to do sometimes.
What trailer are you throwing in the back of that big jig? If you don't mind me asking publicly.
Either is it the kinky beaver, the one with the tentacles, the reaction innovation kinky beaver, or the structure bug?
Okay.
One or the other.
So you're like
You
really.
want the bulk.
Oh, it's big, yeah.
So what about a rage lobster? The 5-inch rage crawl.
I hadn't tried it.
I bet they'd bite it.
Yeah, I mean anything. It's you looking for, like when it really works well is in the fall, and that's because I think a lot of the crawfish and stuff are kind of getting close to burning up in that clay and stuff.
Yeah.
And I mean that's when it shines. It's just it's the
I
bigger
mean-
the profile, the better.
I mean, an 8-pounder eat that bottle right there.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, judging by some of the baits I've caught fish on at night, they'll eat anything.
Yeah, but they're the bigger the profile you can get on it when they're on it, the better. Like Davey Hight's got videos out there on it. As far as what
Is that where you learned it from?
kind of a lot of it, yeah. Because I mean he was doing it at Santee, so I was gonna try that, and it worked.
Ah, Lord.
I've learned a lot of stuff on YouTube.
Me too. Like how to change. I learned last night how to put it in the dishwasher.
Did you?
Yeah, I did.
I probably watched that same video when I got mine. Yep.
Oh gosh.
Yep.
Bugs Island this weekend. Tim Kelly wants to know. He's got an ABA National something or other. Is it a good time at Lake, feast or famine, or what is it? Talking to you.
Bugs?
Yeah.
You talked to the wrong person for that.
I mean, it took 32 pounds to win for 2 days up there this weekend, and
English Choice Team Champion.
it's
I
like
think
anywhere
20. I think 20
I think
Six?
26, I think,
was
was second.
second. So I think it's going to be like
So 13 to 14 a day is pretty solid.
yeah.
My experience up there, there's a lot of fish the same size.
They're bugs.
About
Yeah.
2.5 pounders.
Right.
And if you can get a 5 to go in with that,
That's any lake
Yeah.
in the Carolinas.
but
You
that
catch
lake's bad.
It is. There's a lot of 2.5 pounders in it.
well, at least they got 2.5 pounders, not 13 3/4 inches like we're dealing
Oh,
with.
you can have
Yeah.
fun up there in the spring. You can catch them any way you want to.
All right. Well, we've been on here for what, an hour and
About
20
an hour
something
and a
minutes.
half.
We're gonna wrap this up. Cody, you got anything else to add to tonight?
I ain't got nothing.
All right.
Yeah.
Leave
Appreciate
me-
you guys
Leave
coming
me
by,
alone. Let me go back to work.
hanging out with us. Cody, thank you, man, for bringing the trophy.
Yes, sir.
Congratulations again. And good luck on next year. Hope you go out there and whack on them.
Todd Huntley said good luck this weekend at Murray.
And Pug, good luck at the championship.
Thank you.
What else we got? Is that it?
That's it.
That's it. Let's go.
Rusty Hooks Live, where our hooks may be rusty, but our points are always sharp. We will see you guys next Monday night. Maybe Todd and them can come down for it.
I'll call him.
Just have a trash talking session.
There you go. All right. We're going to wrap this up tonight. See you guys next week.
Well, that was entertaining.
We're not gone.
Still entertaining.
It was entertaining.